Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and this might be the rarest LEGO Marvel Superheroes item that LEGO has ever made. I hesitate to say set because it's not like this was really ever available for retail purchase. Instead, it was a special raffle-only gift that you could win if you were located in certain parts of Asia during the time of Avengers Endgame's release. To this date, only single-digit quantities of this have been found. We aren't really sure exactly how many exist, and it's easily one of the strangest LEGO official promotional items they've ever done. In fact, there is a little sticker here that says LEGO Production. This is not a toy, for indoor use only. The entire thing is pretty much glued together, and well, we're about to take a look at what exactly this is. And yes, this actually does include a ton of exclusive printed elements, even though it's very clear that these printed elements were actually made by a third-party company. They're actually pad printed, not using the same printing that LEGO uses for their standard prints. It's a really interesting piece, and obviously something that was just intended to be a special giveaway that LEGO Asia put together. So let's dive into this strange LEGO Avengers Endgame promo item right now. Okay, so what is the official story behind this set? The official name is this is the LEGO Superheroes Display Station. It was one of 22 copies made in the world, and it was only given away during a special raffle draw where 22 lucky winners could be selected to receive this for free. The only way this was distributed was if you purchased any LEGO Marvel Avengers sets worth either 150 Singaporean dollars or more from a Toys R Us event at Suntec City from April 22nd to 5th May in 2019. The names of those 22 lucky winners were announced on May 10th, 2019 in advance of the release of Avengers Endgame. Beyond that launch, that was 100% it. In fact, the way to actually pick up your prize is you had to literally go to a particular office in Singapore, provide your name, mobile number, email, and purchase receipt as proof that you were one of the winners of this prize, which is maybe one of the most convoluted ways to ever get an exclusive LEGO item I have ever heard of. Now, there are a lot of really strange things about this item, and from what I understand, this was actually commissioned by the LEGO Singapore office. They used a LEGO certified professional or a builder who would work at something like a Master Model Builder workshop or who would be a certified professional LEGO builder to make this custom done and have 22 be made for an exclusive LEGO set. So does this actually count as an official LEGO set? Well, your mileage may vary a little bit on that, but given that it was distributed by the official LEGO Singapore office, the official LEGO Singapore Facebook page was the one that promoted this item, and it does count as an official LEGO item. It says it's done by LEGO Singapore. I am very much considering it an official LEGO set, even though it doesn't really even have something like a brick set entry point as far as I can tell, because it is just one of those strange LEGO items. The other interesting thing is that most of it is glued. Like, a lot of the model is actually glued, but not all of it is. Like, it's almost as if they forgot to glue some parts of it, or maybe some of the glue wore off, so I could remove like some sections, but then I'm trying to peel off some other tiles here, and you can't remove it. So that is just the beginning of the very strange journey that we're about to embark on when taking a look at this model. As you can see, the entire thing opens up. And this does technically include a lot of exclusive decals. You see, what they did is basically they had a custom pad printer print these decals on the model, which again, it's not official LEGO printing, but it was commissioned by LEGO officially and given away officially for a LEGO event. So super strange, but as you can see, every single one of the main Avengers received a specialized tile showcasing their Avengers symbol there, and it is really cool. These do appear to be original graphic art done for this set in particular, so you can see Iron Man's helmet there. Strange thing is, it looks like a symbol like from the Iron Man helmet in the movie. It's not like the LEGO version of Iron Man's helmet, but it is just like Iron Man's helmet from Endgame. But even cooler, in my book, are the fact that they printed each and every one of the characters exclusively on the actual transparent window panes included in the set. And the goal is for you to be able to display all of your Avengers minifigures inside this case once you collect all the different Avengers Endgame sets. And this is kinda doable, but honestly, I'm not really convinced at how good it looks on display. You can see that for each and every one of the individual characters, you have a special icon like Black Widow's hourglass symbol there, and then they even had to split up some of the printing on two different elements here for the Black Widow and the Hulk, who kind of have these larger container sections available for them to have that rounded logo be done. It is very strange to kind of run your fingers across the print here because you can feel the texture of the print for how this was produced. It is not like your standard LEGO printed component, which is just something that you don't even feel has a texture of being printed at all, because these were done with pad printing. They clearly were a custom job. But again, this is not a mock, this is not a custom LEGO set, this is literally an official LEGO item commissioned to be done for an official LEGO giveaway. It is so strange. Now I figured it makes sense to actually grab the minifigures that are relevant and see, well, just how can we manage to fit all of these figures in the display, and do they even look good on display inside this case? And your results will vary. And so, with the main heroes assembled, it's time to get back to the case and see what they look like. For the ones that are just standard minifigures, I can see the vision behind it. You've got Iron Man in there. Next up you have Thor, who unfortunately, obviously since they weren't spoiling the bro Thor look for the character at this point, he is just a little bit inaccurate compared to the movie, but again, most of these figures are very inaccurate compared to the movie. You've got Black Widow in there. And then you run into some issues with Hulk. You can kinda wedge Hulk in. He doesn't look that good. He can't really face front, and I understand they were probably dealing with budget limitations and size limitations, but he doesn't even really fit in and fully close up the model when he's standing on his side. You kinda have to just wedge him in there and not even have to attach him to any studs. It's a really weird way to fit him in, and I kinda have to wonder if they actually tested this with the minifigures before actually designing it, because Hulk absolutely does not fit in there whatsoever. Next up, we can put in Thor and Cap, and they actually fit in just fine. Obviously, they are just your standard minifigures, and I guess that is a pretty decent way to display them when you actually have this opened up, but the really exciting thing to me was, are the minifigures going to be visible by looking through the windows on the front? So you can kind of see a holographic-like display of each of the characters, and then see what they look like inside. And well, we're about to take a look at that right now. But first off, you can see Cap here. He has the quantum suit on with the shield. Hawkeye over here, and the symbol is that standard kind of quiver-like symbol for Hawkeye, which I think works for the character. Hulk, yeah, wedged in there. Don't really like how that one's displayed. That is literally the only way to get him to fit. He can't even face the window. Black Widow there. Maybe the container is a little bit large for the character, but you know, I think it totally works just fine for what they're trying to do. Then you have Thor in there with the hammer symbol. It is, strangely enough, the Mjolnir symbol and not Stormbreaker, but I guess that's a little bit more iconic for Thor. And then we just saw the Iron Man one, and there is the minifigure inside the case. To be clear, this set did not come with the minifigures. It was just the build by itself, which really goes to show that I have to wonder just how much involvement LEGO actually had with the development of this model, because it kind of feels like they just had it commissioned and called it good as a special giveaway, especially because it is such a strange limited release only at Toys R Us in Singapore during a special buying event. Just such a weird promo item. Now let's have all the minifigures turn around and take a look at what they might look like on the outside of the model. And I was trying to get Hulk to fit in when he's kind of looking out, but honestly I had some trouble closing up with Hulk that way, so you really do have to improvise and just play around with it. Rotating all these minifigures around, you might notice that there is a Technic hole on one side of the attachment there, which allows you to actually have this be fully enclosed, which I do actually appreciate about how it's done. It is rather nice to be able to have this be an enclosed box of its own. You just kind of click it shut, like so, and boom, you have it, the full Avengers case. Unfortunately though, the way the decals are done makes it such that you literally cannot see through them whatsoever. I thought like maybe it would be a little bit transparent, but no, you cannot tell the minifigures are in there at all. There is no way of seeing that, so that's a bit unfortunate. You'll also see something a bit strange with how the Hulk and Black Widow ones were attached. There's like some air bubbles in the printing, which means that the printer just clearly wasn't made to print on curved surfaces. Another very odd thing about this model in general that makes it feel very bootleggy in the way it's made, but it obviously isn't bootleg. Like, this is real LEGO, it is made by a LEGO certified professional, and you can still go back and find the historical post on the official LEGO Singapore page, so this is an official item, just not really like any other official item you're ever going to find. But now, of course, it is time to get to the elephant in the room, and there have been a lot of back and forth discussions on this. To date, we know that 22 were given away, but I don't actually know of that many that publicly are known to be in people's collections. I know Mini Superheroes Today, my friend Jonathan Pushkar has one, and I know of like one other person that has one, but other than like 3 people, I don't really know if I can think of anybody else in the world who actually publicly owns this. For all we know, a ton of kids were able to pick this one up and they maybe threw it out. It could be in a landfill, it could be sitting in someone's house, they don't know what the value is. So in terms of in the collections of LEGO fanatics, this is it. So the question is, exactly how much did I pay for this model? And I want to be transparent about this because there's just not a lot of documentation on the pricing here. I was able to work out a deal for $5,000 for this. I believe one sold in the past for a lot more than that, so I personally was pretty happy with $5,000. I can definitely see something like this selling for $6,000 or even $7,000 in the future, and technically it is rarer than some of the rarest LEGO items, like the Comic-Con Andrew Garfield Spider-Man minifigure is an exclusive minifigure that is selling for like $15,000 nowadays, and there's at least 100 of that, if not more. So technically by numbers, this might be the rarest LEGO Marvel item ever made. I can only think of one rarer item, and that was a special anniversary golden Iron Man minifigure produced for the anniversary of LEGO Superheroes, only given away to members of the Superheroes design team, and to date, as far as I know, only one of those has made it out to the public. But that's all for this video in terms of what you could actually obtain as a public member in the world, not a LEGO employee. I think this is taking the cake for the rarest LEGO Marvel item ever. So let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. I'm sure a lot of folks in the comments will be debating as to whether or not this counts as an official LEGO item to begin with. I think it does, but I can honestly see the argument pro or against. That's all for now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming away very soon, and I'm just so happy to have been able to add this to my collection.